Evening, everybody. Good evening and welcome to our call for tonight. And what we're going to do is this is going to be really the first, I'm going to call this a pre-orientation for Extreme Business Makeover. And this is something I've really been excited about doing, ready to get back in the saddle, ready to do it the right way. Something I did back in 2018. I stopped it in order to work with my partner, changed it a little bit, didn't do exactly what I wanted, but I'm still happy I did it and made PLR available. But the limitation of what I did in 2017, 2018 is that it was primarily kind of directed toward just the MMO market. Right. And so what I want to do this year in Extreme 2.0 is I want to make sure that it covers the entirety of information marketing, whether you choose to be involved in the make money online market or not. And so as a result of that, what I'm going to do tonight is I'm going to talk about the make money online market, and it's going to be the only session I'm going to address it directly, because basically what we're going to be doing over the next, I'm going to say 50 or so weeks, is we're going to be doing it, I'd say, broader than just the make money online market. Even though if you do what I say in those sessions, you'll still be in good shape if you want to operate inside the make money online market, right? So it doesn't really matter whether or not you do or you choose not to or you don't. So having said that, let's go ahead and get started tonight. What I want to remind you is that if you have not picked up the course platform that I have been talking about, you can pick that up at the plrshow.com/0G, right? And I did a demo there. You can take a look at it. So we want to talk about tonight where and when to position yourself inside the MMO marketplace. Where and when to position yourself inside of the MMO marketplace. And like I said, this is pre-orientation because in the orientation, I'm not going to talk about the make money online market. I'm going to be talking about broader. And as I said, if you apply what we talk about in Extreme 2.0, you're still going to be successful in the MMO marketplace. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's talk about the business opportunity niche. Now, I've done this before. I'm going to give you a little different spin on it and talk to you a little more succinctly about the way you need to think about this, if you choose not to be involved in this marketplace. The business opportunity space is MLM, right? It's also what people term or call internet marketing. You can also lump in day trading to that. You can also lump in Kindle writing to that. And you might say, well, I'm not involved in any of those things directly. How can all those things be business opportunity if that's also internet marketing? And basically, in the business opportunity space, you have to agree with me. You don't need a degree in business. You don't need a degree in technology or financial markets to be successful in any of those things, right? I used to work on the floor of the mercantile exchange when I was in college, and none of that required a degree in finance. What you had to understand is you had to understand how the gears worked in order to make money in the marketplace, right? If you understand day trading, you know what I'm talking about. So basically, you don't need a degree in these areas in order to make money, in order to even be successful, in order to build a business in these things, even though in and of themselves, they're not a business. So basically, it's what I call arbitrage, right? Whether it's MLM, whether it's internet marketing, day trading, or Kindle writing, you got to be able to be good at figuring out how to buy low and sell high, even if what you're buying is the knowledge or the trade or the services, and then you learn how to sell them, in bulk, or you figure out how to sell one to many, or you figure out how to sell your services at a high rate. You don't have to have, again, a degree. You got to have, or credentials. You got to have the chops. You got to be able to produce, right? You got to be able to do it in such a way that you buy low and sell high. That's what it means to be inside of the business opportunity space. Anything you bring to it, right? Anything you come to the business opportunity niche with, it's going to give you an advantage of being able to make money and sell. So in other words, if you already know how to sell, wherever you learned it, right? If you bring sales skills to the business opportunity space, you are going to be able to develop an advantage in being able to be successful, whatever you're doing. If you are a programmer, right? If you can create things by, from whether you're a digital programmer, in the web, or whether or not you can program, things like, I don't know programming languages anymore, Cobalt and all the other stuff, but whatever the programming languages are, if you can do that, you can be successful in the business opportunity space, regardless of whether or not you have all the other skills. If you are a trainer or a teacher naturally, right? I'm not saying that, you call yourself a trainer, but if you're a natural trainer, you know how to produce content by teaching, and you know how to train people, and you know how to make things simple for people, you will become, and you will bring an advantage to the business opportunity space. So basically, you've got to be able to ask yourself, if you want to operate here, what can you bring to the business opportunity space? What do you come with? Where do what skill do you come with that maybe you're better at than other people? As long as you provide value to the end customer, you're going to be in good shape in the business opportunity space. So you don't have to have credentials. What you've got to be able to do is you've got to be able to cost effectively bring value to the end customer. That's what you've got to be able to do. I'll tell you about a little bit about my own advantage, right? You may have heard this before. I participated, as far as I went in higher education, I attended and I was involved in the instructional technology doctoral program. And in fact, I probably would have gotten my doctorate had I not run out of money before I left my full-time employer back in 2009. Right. So, but I had completed all the coursework. And so basically everything there is to know about instructional technology, I went through all the coursework, I did all the work, and I basically learned and understood how everything worked. And so I brought that to internet marketing. I also had experience in working with small business, right? So I was a commercial banker. So in other words, I made loans to small and minority business owners in the Chicagoland area. So when I got started in the business opportunity space, my start was offline PLR, right? It was a natural fit. So I could produce small business content because I could produce it out of my own experience, right? Naturally, yeah, I could have outsourced it, but I didn't have to outsource it. I could produce it based on my own experience, right? So I figured out at the very beginning how I could take something that I had, and I had already had the experience, and I figured out how to sell it in the marketplace. And really, I didn't even have to do any selling. I was already positioned. So basically, what you want to do at the very beginning, if you want to be involved in the business opportunity space, is to try to think about some area in which you have a connection to the marketplace, right? This is what I did. I already knew what small business owners were thinking, right? So I didn't have to guess about how to write content. Right, I knew because I'd spent hours sitting inside small business owners' office. And still today I could do that just based on that experience. And so basically, you will always be able to, number one, consume content, and number two, produce content when you're already familiar with something. So if you want to operate within the business opportunity space, in the make money online market, one of the things that you can do is you can come to the marketplace with an area that you were already experienced in, and that you can produce content, you can produce expertise, you can produce things based on your experience. You don't really have to work at it. So you don't have to outsource it. One of the things I talked about is the fact that, if you can buy low and sell high, you're going to be successful in the MMO marketplace. And there's no better way to buy low than to use experience you already have, to use knowledge that you already have. So in other words, I didn't have to go out and outsource anything to create offline PLR. I already had it. And so you can bring things to the make money online market if you already have the experience. And it's always going to be your choice as to what you want to do with this marketplace. So you don't have to do things. You don't have to launch products on JVZoo Warrior Plus. You don't have to do things that way. When you come to the space, there are all number of ways for you to bring your expertise, to bring your knowledge, to bring things you already have to the marketplace. And we'll talk about a few of those here tonight. Now, here's the thing about the MMO marketplace, right? You can decide to make it your career, or you can just use it as a way to make money. So in other words, you don't have to be married to this marketplace. You can come in and you can launch a product this month, And you can go away for years and go do something else and then come back and launch another product as long as you can bring value to the marketplace. So don't think that, because you don't have, let's say, all the experience in which people who have been involved in MMO all these years, you don't have all their experience, you don't have their contacts. Oh, none of that's important. What's important is that you can bring value to the people when they want it based on what exactly they want. That's what you've got to be able to do. Not that you've got to know everybody. You've got to have all the contacts in the world. So you don't have to have, it doesn't have to be your career. It can just be a way for you to be able to make money. Now, if you have a platform, right? If you have a platform, it is going to help you. You do not have to have a platform to make money in the business opportunity space. You just don't, right? I mean, if you can come in, you can partner up with somebody. If you can come in and you can add value to a launch, you can be a third person on the launch. If you can come in and you can write copy, right, for someone who is doing a launch, and you just decide, you're just going to write the copy and they decide to pay you a percentage, you can make money in the business opportunity space, right? But if you've already got a platform, it's going to help you. If you've already got a something that you're known for, I mean, you can choose to be involved in the marketplace. Your platform will help you to stand out from the crowd, but you've got to try to find something to be known for that it's hard for other people to do. And it's going to be hard for people to just reproduce it themselves. I mean, if what you bring to the marketplace, if what your platform is something that people can learn on YouTube and they can do it on YouTube, you're not going to be able to create enough value and enough momentum in order for it to be worth your time. But if you can find a way to be known for something that's hard for other people to do themselves, or it's hard for other people to know themselves, you are going to be able to bring that platform to the marketplace within the business opportunity space. And again, the thing about the business opportunity space is you don't have to have credentials. You've got to be able to bring the value. So basically, one of the things that you can do if you want to be involved in the business opportunity space is pick a platform and start talking about it daily or near daily. And I talk about this all the time in terms of doing a weekly workshop. And it doesn't matter whether or not you want to sell products inside the JVZoo Warrior Plus ClickBank space. But but regardless, if you would just start teaching on a regular basis what you know, you will find that you will have something not only to create content around, but you will also have something that you can send people to. Right. And this is something that anybody can do within their own space. Now, what I will tell you about this is, and this is a mistake that I see people making, because I think people get the idea that they can bring their own expertise to the marketplace. Don't pick what's easiest, right? Pick what you're best at doing, right? So in other words, just because it's easy and you can throw it up and you can sell it and you can put it up and, you can get people to buy it, that's not necessarily going to be worth your time in the long run. Whether you're going to be involved short run or long run, pick something that you're good at doing. Pick something where you really do provide the value, even if you don't necessarily love it or hate it, right? You have got to make sure that you bring the value to the people. Right now, you don't have to be good at everything, right? It can be one thing, right, that you use to bring people to. And then, what you're going to do is you build your community from your platform, right? So if you're doing a workshop, you're doing a weekly live, or you're doing a weekly blog post, that is what you're going to build as the basis for your platform, right? If you're going to do a launch, let's say once a week, you can build a community around that platform. Right now, you can sell from your platform, you can sell to your community. And so basically you want to be able to figure out if you're going to operate within the make money online market is what you're going to sell. Right now, there are a number of things that you can sell, and really everything does come back to what you are going to sell. The make money online marketplace or the business opportunity space is not necessarily going to reward you for building a brand. You will build the brand. This is important. I want you to understand this. You're not going to start with the brand first and come to the marketplace and expect people to buy from you based on your brand, right? People don't care about your brand. They care about themselves and the value you bring. You build your brand around what you can sell, right? Understand that. So it's going to be the reverse in the business opportunity space. It doesn't work like the other marketplaces. You build your brand around what you sell. You don't sell around your brand. That's important. That's an important distinction to make. I don't have it written here, but you have to understand that, because if you come in thinking, well, I gotta make sure I got a brand statement and I gotta build around this brand, you've got to establish what it is you can sell first. Every person that rebrands or establishes a brand or has has time or money to invest in their brand, they have already established what they sell first, and they establish that with the marketplace, right? So don't get fooled into thinking too deeply around your brand. Now, you do need to have USP, right, for everything you sell, but don't get focused on the brand. Focus on the market and what the market wants, and figure out how you can connect to the market, right? You can sell digital products, teach people something and how to do something, right? That's always something you can do in the business opportunity space. You can sell branded physical products in some cases. And sometimes that means that that's going to be, a paperback book. That can mean a paperback book and some stuff with it. That can mean a cheat sheet that you're going to send people in the mail. It can be anything that's going to be branded, and you've got to put it in the mail and sell. You can sell those things in the business opportunity space. You can sell software, and that's really one of the areas in which people are majoring in. If you can figure out how to get some kind of software to work to solve a problem that you have, and you perfect it, you can then take that same software that you had developed for your own business and sell it to the marketplace, right? And in most cases, you're not ruining your brand by selling software to the marketplace as long as it works. Now, what you can also sell, you can sell data and case studies. This is not something that people sell a lot of, but it's very important. In fact, anytime you can combine data and case studies with any of these other areas, you are going to see that you're going to be able to create more value. You're able to sell it at a higher price, and you're going to sell more of them if you can sell data and case studies along with any of these other areas. In other words, let's say I'm selling software, and I can prove to you that here's what this software did in all these other cases. Now, I'm not talking about just a testimonial here. I'm talking about data, I'm talking about case studies. I'm talking about where you've actually seen that your product, whatever it is you're bringing to the marketplace, works. You've documented it. And not only that you know that it works, you know how it works. That is the difference between data and case studies and just testimonial, right? Testimonial says it worked, right? It worked for me, it'll work for you, right? Data and case study says here's how it works, right? And you can prove it. You've got the data to prove it. And so if you can bring that to anything you're going to do, you can sell that to the marketplace, but you can sell that to the marketplace all by itself, right? If you got data and case studies. Any kind of content you have, resell rights. Now, again, you've got to make sure it matches the marketplace. And I know that people are saying these days, this is the easiest thing you can do. You can always sell this. I'm not going to go out on the limb and say it's not the easiest thing in the world to do. The other things are really the most profitable things for you to do. Probably going to be the easiest if you have it. Right now, if you have knowledge in an area and you can hold people accountable, not everybody can do that. Right? It takes some skill to really hold people accountable. Where they do things, you can hold people to a challenge. And in fact, you don't even have to be a full expert. You've got to have a knowledge of how the thing works if you're going to hold people accountable. And so basically what you're trying to do, if you want to bring something to the marketplace fast, I'm going to tell you, even faster than just content with resale rights, if you can challenge people to get results, you are going to be able to sell that to the marketplace. Right now, the first challenge is always going to be the hardest one, because you're getting people to trust you. You've got to give it away to start with, but you can always sell that inside the business opportunity space. Now here's the most important aspect of what I call the make money online market, right? And you need to understand what I call the self-made man sequence. What do I mean by that? Here's how it works. And you can do this in anything. And one of the things I encourage, our ultimate insiders to do all of the time is to think about an area where they already have results. Do you have an area where you're already getting results? Let's say that you're successful selling stuff on Facebook Marketplace. You're successful selling stuff on eBay. You're successful running a meetup. You're successful doing a live event. You're successful, selling, doing yard sales. You're successful doing, my wife did extreme couponing years ago. Whatever you're successful in, go and get your own results. And if you got results any place, you can bring that to the make money online market or the business opportunity space. When you're in the process, and this is what most people don't do when they're getting the results, but you can start now to do it because you're probably getting results in some area, right? Even if, again, now I want to make sure I tell you this. You don't have to stay married to the make money online market if you're getting results in an area. What you've got to do is you got to be documenting everything, right? Are you documenting everything? So if you're documenting everything and you're getting your own results, you are going to be able to bring that to the marketplace. If you're documenting everything, what you're now going to do is you're going to teach your results. And that's basically what you are going to sell to the marketplace. Right. And again, you might say that I don't really have anybody to promote my product. Nobody really knows about me. That's not going to be the thing that's going to be most important when you start. If you're getting results and you can teach somebody how to get those same results, if you documented everything, you are going to be able to, over time, make sales with what it is that you have. If you can teach your results, you can coach your results. So in other words, you can sell coaching. So basically what you're going to do is you're going to say, hey, I can either sell you this information product, but I can actually show you a little more if you're willing to spend a little bit more time with me. Right. So you're basically going to say, I'll spend time with you in a group, or I'll spend time with you one-on-one. You're just going to have to pay me to make it worth my time. Right. You can do that. Right. And you pick and you start with the area where you're getting results. Listen, if you haven't sold anything, right? And I know that, I've had conversation with people and said, well, I'm still waiting for my first sale. Haven't really had anything to happen. I'm sort of overwhelmed by, launching and all this other stuff. That I get that. Start with an area where you're getting results. Document everything, right? A to Z, document everything you do, everything you've done, so that person, they won't have any questions, anything left to chance, and then teach, right? Teach on video, teach on audio, teach live, doesn't really matter, right? And then when you start teaching on a regular basis, what's going to happen is you are going to have some people who want to go further with you, or who want more personal attention, or who are willing to pay you more to have more of your time because they want results faster. Don't deny them that. Give it to them. Just make them pay more for it. You can then, what I call, tribe your results. So in other words, what you start doing is you start extending outside the people who are buying your products. And basically, this is what you're going to be doing in your weekly workshop. You are going to be talking about the results that you are getting people in your tribe. And you're going to be talking about your methods, and you're going to be talking about the things that they are doing. Basically, so that you start to invite people in what I call your marketing funnel, right? You tribe your results. And then what you can also do is automate your results. This is one thing that you can also do. Basically, when you start to see that you can do some things, start looking for ways in which you can have software design to do some of your process. Because basically, you can then take that same software and bring it to the marketplace. Right? This is what I call the self-made man. In other words, you made your own results. So you didn't rely on a partner or affiliates or any of that stuff. You basically built a community around the things and results that you were doing and that you are getting, right? You can actually do this. Anybody can do this. And if you are inside of the make money online market, you don't have to stay here. When you do this one process, bundle this up and make it for sale, right? You can put it on JVZoo Warrior Plus. You can put it on Gumroad. You can put it any place you want. You can recruit affiliates. You don't have to recruit affiliates, but basically when you do this process, you have something that you are going to give people value, and you are just going to wait for the right opportunity. It could be somebody invites you on a podcast. It could be that you do your own podcast. It could be, you get interviewed, you talk. It doesn't, listen, what matters is that you start by doing this process, right? Now, here's the other part to this, right? and I taught this before. And again, I'm not going to be doing this in Xtreme 2.0. But I do want to say this because this is really going to be the leverage part, right? You think, I know that, you're probably listening or watching this, you're thinking, well, I don't really know, Charles, just because I create a product and just because it's valuable doesn't mean it's going to sell. It's not going to sell, a gazillion copies like these guys who are on, who are on ClickBank and all these other places. It doesn't matter about that. Here's what you're going to do, right? I say you build a syndicate. People right now, right, who are your peers. Start building relationships with product creators. Right now, again, it doesn't mean that you can't build relationships with people who are not product creators. Build relationships with doers. Anybody who's creating a product, build a relationship with them. If you've bought, and sometimes, you might have to buy something from somebody so you can get in their support area, but it doesn't really matter. But you have relationships right now with product creators. Establish those relationships, start determining what it is they do. One of the things we want to do inside of Ultimate Insider is we do Xtreme 2.0 is we're going to really build a community around the people who are going to be taking these steps so that so insiders can start to get to know each other. Because what I really want to see happen is for you to build relationships with each other, build relationships with product creators, build, and this is so important. When you start to build those relationships, here's what you're going to do. You start to build informal relationships to support each other with your list, right? It's so important. It's so important that if you say, well, when your list is growing and you're building it up from a little bit, right, and you're building it from the beginning, start building informal relationships with other people who are building their list from the beginning, and you're going to be surprised at the momentum you're going to be able to generate. Now, here's what this syndicate will do for you. When you start to build those informal relationships, what you do inside of your group is you create a calendar, right? And now, don't go telling everybody that you have a syndicate. Don't go telling everybody that this is your group. Don't go bragging to everybody. Oh, well, I got this group and we're awesome and we do this for each other. This is not for everybody to know. This is for you and your group to know. You create a calendar, and the only agreement you need to have is you don't have to agree that you're always going to promote for each other. You don't have to agree that you're going to not do business with somebody else. The only agreement you have is you're not going to step on each other. In other words, if John does his launch on the 13th, you're not going to do your launch on the 13th because somebody in your syndicate is going to be doing theirs on the 13th. That's what you're doing. When you do that, you're basically going to, when it fits, you're going to promote for each other, right? This is a syndicate, right? Now, you might sound like this is collusion or whatever the case is. Again, you don't go talking about this, you don't go bragging about it, but you have it is an informal relationships. Now, here's what you need to do. Please take your time and find people that are not going to embarrass you. So in other words, you promote for them and then your customers end up buying from them. And all of a sudden you've got angry people at you because of what this man or woman did to you. Please don't get those people inside your group, right? Find people that are not going to embarrass you. This is going to be a little tough now the pandemic is just wrapping up, but I really suggest that you try to do this, right? It's not easy and you got to be discerning, right? And you can, obviously, you can't meet up with a stalker or anything like that, right? You gotta kind of know people, but try to meet physically, right? Try to meet physically if you can, right? Online and with your group. Online is great. But if you can meet with your syndicate, it's going to drive the relationships even more in depth. Now, go to conferences together, right? There's a JZoo conference coming up. If you got an informal relationship with 1, 2, 3, 4 people, decide to go together, right? If these are the people inside your group, I promise you, this is going to help you if you choose to do it. Right now, go together. Right, or agree to meet up together. So in other words, hey, we're all going, let's say we're all going to go to the, whatever, the marketers cruise in December. So so it doesn't matter if you don't get to know the big wigs, right? It doesn't matter if you don't get to talk to all the big creators. You know what really matters more than anything else is you and your syndicate sit down and meet. And you talk about your plans, and you get a chance to recreate together and get to know each other. Go to conferences with your syndicate. When a product creator offers you their list in exchange for a fee, product purchase, you can buy your way into an affiliate relationship. You can also do this. So in other words, you've probably seen some offers where a product creator says, if you buy into my program, I will mail to my list for you, right? Sometimes that's a right decision to make. It's never cheap, right? It's not going to be cheap, but it can be the right decision sometimes if you're not getting any traction any other way. Don't be afraid of this, because sometimes it helps you to leapfrog some of these other areas. It'll force you to put your product together if you got to get it together in order to become in order to get fed based on a purchase that you made. Right now, I've seen these things go for any place between you say $900 to $2,000, right? I've seen on the low end, I've seen something go at $497. In fact, I'll tell you, in 2016, I did one. I'm not going to say the name, but I did. I bought one because I knew this person, because the person put in their offer, I'll promote you, right? I did it for that reason. The person was pretty cool, but I kind of knew everything they were teaching. The reason I paid the $497, right, was because they promised to promote me, right? I'll just be honest with you. So again, it may sound a little, everything on this slide that I'm teaching you right now, it probably sounds a little like, hey, you can't do that. Hey, that makes it bad for, the people who are trying to get started the right way. It probably does, but I'm telling you, this is going on behind the scenes. And so what I'm telling you to do is don't get left behind because you don't have your own, right? And don't get upset because other people have these things. Form your own, right? Form your own. If you can't form a syndicate, buy your way into one. Now, and so this is always going to be the case, and the issue is going to be whether or not you want to spend for it, right? You may not want to spend $500 to get somebody to promote your product, right? Or what happens is sometimes you'll pay the money and you'll never get your product together. Now, I had already had my product in motion, so the $497, I didn't necessarily want to pay it, but I said, okay, you know what? I'm going to get this person to promote. It turned out to be a good decision. Right, is what I'll say to you. Now, and as I said, it can be a beneficial way to start and get your feet wet in a product launch, right? So, here's what I will say about this now, and this is really important, that just because you do this doesn't mean that it's going to end up building your business. You will get a launch and you will make sales. But if you haven't done the work that I talked about here at the beginning, and you're not creating in an area where you have some kind of sustainable advantage that you brought to the marketplace, what's going to happen is you're not going to be able to follow up with your second product. That's really what's going to really bring you, and what's going to make that worth it, if you have a syndicate, and if you have, let's say, if you buy your way in, you get somebody to promote you, you got to be able to follow up with that second product. And if you don't have any energy, and if you don't have any, if you don't have the ability to create another something, right? If you don't have that second or third product or fourth product in you, then yeah, you might make your money back, but you want to do it in an area where you already have a sustainable advantage if you decide to buy your way in. I see this happen a lot in the PLR space, where people will buy their way in, but they're not content creators, so they don't have the second one in them, and because of that, the second and third and fourth thing to follow up with is kind of more difficult. So always do it, right? It's a good thing to do. Just make sure you do it in an area where you have something that when you come to the marketplace, you can come with a second, third, fourth thing. Right now, I do want to talk a little bit about Xtreme 2.0. we're going to be basically going, it's probably going to take about between 12 and 18 months. I'm going to let you know that, right? And we're going to be, I haven't taught weekly in a long time. And basically, I'm going to be explaining information marketing step by step, from zero to building out your own brand. Now, in order to become part of Xtreme 2.0, right? And presently, it's not going to be available to the public. The only way, and I spelled insider trading wrong, just so that you'll know here. Oh my goodness. You got to be an ultimate insider. And the way that you do that is you go to plrshow.com/insider training. Again, I have not taught weekly, and I really avoided doing weekly training with ultimate insiders because I don't want them coming to my training instead of doing something. But this is necessary. I have to do this. And so I'm going to walk through every step. And the only thing I'm not going to do is a make money online market. The reason I'm not going to do that is because I just taught you everything you need to know, I think, right? Everything else you can learn on your own, right? If you want to dive into the make money online market, I've just given you enough to get started, right? If that's what you want to do. Because what I will say is that if you want to position yourself there, you can always build your brand, and everything that you learn along the way, what you can do is you can dart into the make money online market, launch something on JVZoo Warrior Plus, give people some real value, and then come back to build your brand. So let's say you're an e-commerce man or woman, and you're doing stuff on Amazon FBA, right? You're making money on Amazon FBA. You discover something, you make some things happen. What you can do is you can take out a sliver of that, do a 3 or 4 hour video course, jump in there on Warrior Plus, give people some value, and then come back to making money in your Amazon FBA business. You don't have to stay there, right? You just got to make sure you give people real value, where you teach people real. And you know what's really cool about that is, what do you care if you teach people something, because you're not competing in the make money online market anyway, right? What do you care if somebody else has a product out, or somebody else comes in right after you? You don't care, because your real business is Amazon FBA. Right. So again, I've given you everything you need to know in order to do basically what you need to do for the make money online market. You don't have to do anything other than what I just showed you. Now, if you want to be involved on a weekly basis, you want me to walk you through, right? And I'm going to do this the right way. I'm not going to do it the way I did in 2017, 2018. Again, I sort of did it. At some point, I stopped the process in order to turn it into PLR, and I made it strictly for the make money online market, and that was to work with my partner. I don't regret doing that. We sold some of it as PLR, and we did some other stuff with it, but I did not do what was my intended purpose. And this is going to be the thing I've been wanting to create ever since I've been involved. I've wanted to teach this from the beginning, all the way from strategic marketing playbook, all the way up to building out your learning center. And I am going to do the whole thing. And if you, and this is really, in addition to everything else I'm doing in Ultimate Insider. So yeah, so don't worry that if you're an Ultimate Insider, you don't think, well, am I still going to get one PLR product every month? Yes, you still are, right? But this is really almost going to be like my legacy product, right? This is going to be my legacy sort of thing. This is what I want to leave the PLR space with, this particular product. So this is what I'm going to be doing. PLRshow.com. Again, I spelled insider training wrong here. So plrshow.com/insider training. We are going to be starting next week. And so now, if you are watching this and you are unfamiliar with us, and you found any of this helpful, right? You find any of this helpful to you, I'm going to ask you to do me a favor, and that's to go to plrshow.com/shout. I want you to give us a shout out. And what I like to do is I like to include these on my training pages, on my sales pages. And I like to let people know that, hey, you know what? People do get real value from some of the things we teach. And that would really be a huge blessing to me. And that's really something that I can, use in my own business. And you make sure that you put your URL there too, so that you can get some good things coming back to you when people see it on our sales pages. Okay, so everybody, appreciate y'all being hanging out with me here, and appreciate you all being here. Hope that this has been helpful for you. This is our Xtreme 2.0 pre-orientation. Orientation will start next week. And again, we will be getting started then. Have a great night.